Hey everyone, this is Robert, and thank you so much for tuning in to Station Square. I hope y'all are doing well out there and you're staying, nice, cool, and just, a lot of this other stuff. Like, hope everybody has a really good summer. I know a lot has been going on, but this is why you kind of have this podcast for a reason. It's like just to get away from the real world and just escape from reality for just a second. But well, enough further ado, because we have our lovely special guest in the corner. We have Miss Allegra Cohen. Thank you so much for joining me on this afternoon, your time, on Station Square, and still morning for me. So, how are you doing?
I am doing awesome, Robert. Thanks so much for having me today. How are you doing?
Just another day, just one day at a time, but I'm still happy to just continue working and, just doing what I love. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Doing what you love. That is one of the keys to joy, which is I believe that that's something that we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely. But I guess to really start this off, how would you say that your 2025 is going so far? Because we're in July. Just talk about your first half and yeah, let's just really get the ball rolling, if you may.
The first half of 2025 has been so exciting, primarily because I've been really on the morning show circuit, getting to
Yeah.
spread all the joy to as many homes and families as possible. So I really have been having a great time getting to visit some different morning show hosts and studios and getting invited back to Good Day DC. That was that was just so exciting. And you know, the US happiness report, um, the World Happiness Report recently came out a few months ago, and it said, unfortunately, that the United States is at the lowest that it's ever been in its happiness. And I have really wanted to do whatever I can do as part of my own service to the world to really elevate people's capacity for joy because I do believe that it is a skill that can be learned.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot that we can discuss when it comes to um, the state of everything and all that stuff. But once again, I really wanted to focus this episode on just finding the joy and just finding your peace and love and, just, I mean, it also really trusting, like, whether you're religious or not, really trusting in the Lord that everything will work out or just what, because if you're reading you know, not just with the Bible, but just in a lot of the media that you watch or we consume, it's like, we kind of discuss about the revelation of the end times, which is kind of like its own separate, different, you know, discussion in and of itself. But what can we do to just be relative to just be joyful in the midst of all of these this mayhem and craziness and chaos that is happening in the world? So that's pretty much what we're going to be discussing today, and I do have a couple of questions pertaining to that, but I'm just so excited that you ended up on, like, news stations like Fox, Good Day, um NBC, and all these um these new stations. So would you say that appearing on those was really, it really helps you find an outlet of, just spreading, you know, just not just with your business, but just yourself out there to the world, and just to show that there is still light in the midst of all the darkness, and just having outlets where you can just spread that to others, especially during these times?
Robert, that was such a beautiful way of putting it. Yes, for me personally, being able to spread the message far and wide on these different morning shows that have such large audiences, for me, it's really about being a hope dealer because I know amidst all of the chaos and the bad news in the world, that joy is still possible. And I want to help to make that possible for as many people as I can.
Yeah, amen to that. I really think it's so important, like I said, to just find to just really have that intimate just connection with others. Like I know that it can be really easy for us to just really just give in to the despair and the darkness and just feeling empathy to others that are also suffering. But it's also very crucial that we still continue to just find new areas and new um, just
New ways.
resources of life, just new ways of just finding that the happiness and just finding that, you know, of just being there for others during the times of, when they really needed the most. If you kind of I'm sorry, if you're understanding what I'm saying, just please. Yeah, if any of this is sounding like mumbo jumbo, just, you know, feel free to
Nothing
comment,
sounds
but
like mumbo jumbo. Everything, we're in alignment. What you were saying before, just
oh
like
yeah.
thankful that we get to wake up in the morning. I one of my tools that I love to share, it all starts with how you choose to wake up in the morning. And it's becoming more intentional with, like, as soon as your eyes flutter open in the morning, to be able to say out loud to yourself, today is a great day. No matter what happened the night before, if you were up late, if you have so much going on in that day ahead, to be able to wake up and just say, today's a great day. Because guess what? You woke up today. It's a bonus day. It's like, this is just so, what a gift that I got to wake up again. And when I do this personally, I share that message with my husband and our 6-year old. He runs into the room and we all say together, today is a great day. And it's having that daily practice that actually is able to train your brain to start to notice all of the good things that are happening in your day instead of waking up and being like, oh, I'm so tired, or oh, watching that news and getting all depressed and succumbing to that negative vibe as soon as you wake up in the morning. Instead, just being able to start your day with a smile and with that intention that no matter what, today's a great day because I'm alive. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. I absolutely, my thoughts 100% just, it's so interesting that everything that we're kind of talking about so far is just kind of like in alignment, like you said. Um, it's just so great to just have a lot of this, you know, like we're just kind of sharing our heart to heart with, all these people that are just, I mean, whether they stumble upon this interview later on, they might be wondering, okay, what is my purpose? Or just, asking all of these really deep, thought-provoking questions. So I'm just really glad that we're kind of both in alignment when it comes to, just why we're doing this. Like I have this podcast, for instance, and before it was just for fun, but now I'm just really starting to just really not just the fact that like, oh, I just don't, am I making this, doing this for the money or the fame? Like, no, I'm talking to people that also are in the same kind of like, they also do this because it's something that personally feeds their creative spirit. And it's also something that they can use that to, like I said, it's just a kind of like a contagious sort of, you know, thing that you're doing where the something that you're doing, it can really impact others in a positive or like I don't want to say negative, but something that you're doing. Like if people can tell, like if they can feel your just spirit and energy, like it's gonna rub off on others without you even realizing it. So it's just something that I've learned over the years. So it's just really interesting how we're both just kind of in alignment when it comes to, shit talking about a lot of this stuff to begin with.
Absolutely, Robert. And, speaking of energy, our
Yeah,
energy is everything. You know,
exactly.
and what you just said, like It's just about the vibe, the your energy introduces you before you even speak. And that's why it is so important that we are in alignment and that we can help the world to be responsible for the energy that each and every human being brings to any situation. And sometimes our energy gets stuck in our bodies. So just like we clean our homes, we also need to clean out our own stuck yuck energy to make room for joy.
Yeah. And I'm just really happy that, you said all of this because it pretty much mirrors exactly what I would have said too. Where it's just kind of like, man, what is something new that I can bring to the
Well, how do
that you're probably going to
you,
steal the words out of my mouth, essentially.
well, how do you clean out your stuck energy if you're feeling down, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling um just like, you know, you want to change, you want to make a change in how you are feeling and be able to get out of your head and into your heart. What do you do?
I love when you ask me this. Are you asking me like how do I like is a question because I usually don't get asked questions because I usually just talk to guests about this stuff, but this was legit a question for me, right? I just want to make sure.
This is legit a question. Is it okay if I turn the table on you for
Yeah,
a
sure.
moment?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
So what is something that you do to help yourself to get out of that overthinking mind and back into your body so you can feel good again if you're feeling like you're noticing that your energy is focusing on something that isn't serving you. What do you do for you? But I
The
don't want
an
to stump you on this one, um feel free to share and I'll be happy to share too.
No, no, no. I definitely see what you're talking about. And you're not stumping me. It's like I'm thinking about the answer and it sounds simple, but I already know that it's probably going to be very much like, oh, well, that's kind of, generic or what have you. But I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't really have like the most complex answer, but it's really just like I'm looking outside right now, my window, and it's sunny. It's nice 80-degree weather. And I know I was talking about just staying cool during the summertime, but really just soaking in the sunshine, getting in that just getting that adrenaline rushing in your body, um, it really does make a difference because I know like when we watch the news, it kind of plants like this conception that like, oh, the world is on fire, everything is just not like as peachy keen as you'd think it is. But no, just going outside, getting in that fresh air, having that nice air quality in your lungs can really be it can make such a huge difference. Exercise, reading a book, hanging out with friends, playing a game, watching a show that can be really thought provoking. All of that stuff is just, it just feeds your creative juices. It just really feeds your soul in a way. Like, I know I mentioned reading the Bible, which is also very much just just a very crucial part of my life that I just would not trade it for anything else. And just finding something new that just really helps you, like whether it's doing an episode of a podcast or just finding something that can really get those gears moving, just really get those gears grinding, can just, I know, just small stuff like that. Like, I don't even consider it as small. It's just something that is so important in our everyday lives that we kind of rely on a lot of just new avenues, whether it's just going to the beach or walking to the park, just stuff like that just really helps you so much. Just refuel just that, just everything inside of you. Because something that is good for your brain is also good for your body, if that makes sense. Because we all say that, like, eating this food can be really good for you, like junk food is bad for you, but what is something that is kind of considered to be the junk food that is affecting you negatively? Is it social media? Is it just hanging out with just friends who are not really good or toxic, or it could be anything really. Like as long as you find something that is like, you know, not really good for your, mindset, then, you know, cut it. Like recently, I just had to get rid of Twitter or TikTok because I kind of didn't really feel like those were really helping me in a positive way because sometimes you can hear like, oh, you need social media for, your business or your branding or what have you. But with how I've been noticing Twitter is like it's kind of become a platform where everybody has a right to say something, right? But sometimes it can just be feel so just not really good for your mind where somebody can say something and then it could just turn into just fights and arguments. But I'm not just saying that with Twitter, it could just be with a lot of social media platforms, which is why it's a good thing to just detox from a lot of that stuff because whenever you watch something on the news, it can be so easy to spread misinformation. It can be so easy to just say the wrong stuff and then just get people just riled up because that's pretty much what I've been noticing here. People can just say the worst misinformation possible, and that can be enough to just start arguments and fights and just put you in a, especially if you're in a public relation, if you're in a professional space, and that can put you at odds with the people that you're working with, your clients, your workers, colleagues, and it could just cause friction between them. It just really make them reconsider, like, okay, if I were to go on this person's profile, is it going to harm the brand that they're selling, or is it going to harm just your relationship with, this individual? All that stuff that you really got to think about and consider when you're making posts on social media. There's a reason why they say think before you post, and that very much should apply to just everyone, especially these days. I mean, not just saying just even with these days, I'm just saying in general, because, yeah, you're
Well,
putting a part of yourself out there for the world to see in a way.
absolutely. And with the overstimulation of social media, I absolutely agree with you. You have to protect your joy as much as possible. I consider it just as important as putting sunscreen on your skin, and I call it emotional sunscreen. So, we
Hmm.
protect our boundaries with people, protecting and nourishing the inputs that we choose, that we're not just being mindless in what we are consuming from the news or from social media, but absolutely setting that healthy boundary with your phone and maybe like separating yourself from it to really be able to have a break from the screen. That's one of the tools that I absolutely believe in so much. And it's so hard to find that self-motivation within yourself to be able to break up with the phone for even just a few minutes. But what you were also mentioning, those beautiful, what I talk about as called micro joys. And micro joys are those little moments that can also be big moments in your day that create a directionality of positivity and joy. And when you're able to notice the beauty and celebrate a win and the moments that matter, that is what is going to continue to train your brain to find more of that joy throughout your day, as opposed to what can be an energy suck, as we might call it.
Just like with you, because we were just talking about you being on the news, it's like, for any bit, like as a part of show business, it's like, anything that you do for publicity or just if you're appearing on something like, a news station or just doing interviews like this one, like everything is a part of, just you protecting your brand and just protecting yourself. Like the people, like you want to be the person that, is just a ray of like whether it's a ray of sunshine or just somebody who is like, okay, you want to be the positive influence in others' lives and you don't want to be the person that is just like a negative role model in a way. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yes.
for stuff like this. Yeah. Like I could do this podcast, but even I'm just like, okay, am I really doing this that is glorifying God, or am I really doing this because it's like I just want to follow what everybody else is doing or just being the trendy type of thing? Like, am I just do I really want to be the person that they can look back on and just be like, you know what? I think this guy, I think he's got something there. He's got a good head on his shoulders or just on and so forth. But just really doing what is something that is what I'm being called to do. You know what I mean? It's something that personally gives is something that is very much is something that I or just what the Lord wants me to do. Just do my own thing and not just doing what the you know what social media or just the trends or what the world wants you to behave or so on and so forth. Like putting expectations on you. Let's just say that. Yeah. If
And
that
it
makes
clearly
sense.
brings you
Yeah.
so much joy to be able to
Exactly.
step out of
Yeah.
yourself and into service, which is
Yeah.
why I believe that you are doing your podcast to be able to be of service. And
Exactly.
right, like, and that brings like you're being of service, and then you're also feeling how good it feels to help and make an impact on others. That's one of my other favorite ways if I'm feeling kind of stuck in myself, whenever I can step out of myself and shoot someone a text to compliment them or to help out an elderly neighbor or to hold the door for somebody, just those small things to be able to help others. It's one of the fastest ways to access that inherent joy that is within you.
Yeah. And I also just found out too that like, being partnered with the US Navy, how would you also say that it's just kind of been like a life-changing experience and just helping all the officers and all these people that are just in service?
Robert, that experience with the Navy, and I'm excited to hopefully be returning again. But that work was so profound and really changed me so much in what it is that I really want to help people to make transitions easier. Like they're all in their Navy mindset and they are the bravest of the brave serving our country. And like talk about being of service, like they literally are. And how they have to go from that Navy mindset back to their families. That's really hard to be able to let all of that go. And I feel like the work that we were able to do together was able to help them to prepare more, to take that time on their rides home back to their families, to take that time to just be quiet and take some deep breaths and notice the beauty around them and maybe practice some breath work and just really getting back in touch with really it's about the little you inside that is yearning to stop. There's no such thing as stress when you're a little kid. We didn't know to be stressed out. We just knew to play and have fun. So I really think that it was crucial to be able to help them remember what it was like to be their little you inside and have that fun again so they can bring that joy back to their families.
I guess on that note, what would you say is the most like the moment in your life where you just look back on and it just still kind of because we were just talking about finding the place that reminds us why we, are doing this. So what would be that one critical moment of your life where it was this for you, where you just keep reminding yourself? I have a purpose. This is why I love doing this.
Well, when I was 16, I had emergency surgery and I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And since then, I've been living with this chronic illness that every single day, no matter what, I have to manage it and I have to get through it. And so to answer your question, it's every single day that because of my own act of bravery and how I want to show up for myself and take care of myself as best I can, because in actuality, you are stuck with you for the rest of your life. You truly are your own best friend. And that's something that I learned for myself, that I am my own best friend. I have to be the one to make those choices when so much of life is out of our control. It's only me that controls my choices, how I respond in any given situation with my attitude, my energy, and my mindset. And I would say that really, really hard diagnosis was something that helped me to transform how I look at healing and how I know that finding that joy is possible.
So, what would you say to somebody that is like, still navigating through life or they're struggling to find what they wanted to do? Just anybody that wants to kind of just want to follow your example in a way.
I would really recommend practicing on a daily basis gratitude. I know that it's very trendy right now. Everyone's talking about gratitude.
Oh,
And
yeah. But it's true though.
it's true. That's because it works. And
Yeah.
when you're able to really savor the present of the present moment, exactly this moment right now, I'm having such a micro joy. And I'm grateful that we could share this time together today. And when you're able to bring yourself out of whatever you think you should be doing or get out of that stressed out mind and just focus on the right now and the gratitude for right now, taking some deep breaths in and trusting that every single thing happens in right and perfect time and that no matter what, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. And do you have anything that you wanted to share, like if you were to promote, like, because I know we were kind of talking about your business for quite some time, but if there's something else that you'd like to share with the audience regarding your future stuff, like what your plans are, excuse me, for the rest of 2025, yeah, just social media, just self-promo if you can. Yeah, we love to stay connected and where people can check out your website, your stuff, and just
Absolutely.
yeah.
I would love to invite all of your audience to hop on to allegracohen.com and make sure to enter your email address because as my free gift to all of your viewers and listeners, I'm offering 7 days in a row of Brave Life affirmations that you will receive in your emails that will accompany some of these new ideas that we spoke about today. So again, go to allegracohen.com and you can enter your email. And I would also encourage everyone to follow me on Instagram at Allegra Cohen. And I'm very active in my DMs, so keep in touch. Tell me, share a microjoy with me. Tag me in a microjoy that you're having. And I really am so grateful that we had this time together. Thanks for having me today, Robert.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Um, so that advice that you just shared, that would also be something that you can tell to younger Allegra in a way?
Oh, for sure. When the more that as a young child that I was able to hone in on gratitude and every single thing that I had, that I was it allowed me to be in the vibration of having versus wanting and not lacking for anything.
Yeah. Do you also have any final thoughts, or do we? We covered everything, did we?
Mm, My final thought is just to remind everyone that joy is your birthright. That's why we came to this Earth School to play and have some fun and not take things so seriously. So, whatever you can do to access that joy, do something little, make that choice because it's possible.
Three. Well, on behalf of me, Robert Jackson, and Allegra Cohen, thank you so much for joining Station Square today. And it's been such a great interview. So thank you so much once again for joining me, Allegra. And thank you out there, if you stumble upon this on my channel or I missed all the other videos that I got in there. Thank you once again for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned next time on Station Square. And this is Robert Jackson signing out. And until next time. Love y'all. Peace. Good day. God bless. Live on. Does Star Trek live on? Prosper? I don't know. Take care, y'all. Bye bye.